I came across this really weird video. It says an eyewitness to Charlie Kirk's murder was cut off mid-account. People rushed in, grabbed him, and quickly silenced him before he could share the rest of what he saw. It's pretty strange, I'm not going to lie. Check this out. Hang on.
I was standing in probably the third... Okay. I was standing from probably the third row in the bottom. I saw hit. I heard the shot ring out. I looked to my left, and then I looked over to my right. I saw him slump over in his chair forward. He slumped over. He had blood coming from the left side of his neck down his shirt, and he slumped over and he was carried off.
Deb, we're not doing it. I'm sorry.
Get off me! Get off me!
Emotions are running high right now.
You're going to have to comment down below if you've got any answers to that, because to me that looks pretty strange. A first-hand eyewitness being shut down in real time immediately after the event. And a few people have said, oh, they worked for Turning Point USA, they was trying to, I don't know, calm him down or whatever. He seemed pretty calm to me. He wasn't ranting or anything like that. He was explaining what he saw right after the most controversial assassination of our lifetime. And then mid-sentence, somebody steps in and says, no, we're not doing this. That's pretty weird. And everybody's asking, all over Twitter, why has this guy, a direct witness, been cut off from giving his account directly after the event? Yeah, so it's pretty strange. If you've got any information, let me know. I don't think they've actually found this guy and done a follow-up yet, but if they do, that would be great. Find out what really went on then. And while that's all going on, yeah, people continue to mock Charlie's death, and they continue to find out why that's not a good idea.
I thought I'd do a quick check-in after yesterday and all of the drama. I want to reiterate that it is not wrong or unethical or unkind to laugh at the misfortunes of terrible people. That Charlie Kirk incited violence. That's what he did. And then that came back to haunt him. That was his decision. So it's got nothing to do with the people who are laughing and joking about him becoming a human water fountain.
Now, she's since been doxed and she's done a follow-up video, but before I show you that, let me read this. We can and should disagree on ideas, but when disagreement turns into doxing, bullying and threats, it crosses a line. So a man getting assassinated for his opinion doesn't cross the line for her, but doxing somebody who makes fun of that man dying does cross the line. Okay, good to know. She said that damages not only the individuals, but workplaces, communities and the broader culture of free expression. Let's manage our emotions, and this is the best bit, and hold ourselves to a higher standard. Hold ourselves to a higher standard after you've just made fun of his death. Anyway, this is her follow-up video.
So I received information that I've been doxed on X, so I'm going to have to step away for a little bit, and the AFP have been contacted, and also the E-Safety Commission as well have been contacted, because there's been a large number of threats coming through. And the irony of this situation, that all I did was say some words that offended some people, and now people have decided to take that into the real world and start, you know, threatening and harassing and abusing people out in the real world based on their inability to manage their emotions. I even had some people say to me that apparently they made a report to the AFP, the Federal Police, about me. I'm like, what did I do other than say something that hurt your feelings? Like, that's free speech. You the ability to speak, even if that's something that personally offends you or you find distasteful. We don't all have to agree on things. In fact, we shouldn't all agree on things. So yeah, I'll be around later, I guess, and yeah, just think before you try to take things offline or you try to escalate things. Think about whether this actually impacts you personally, whether your life is personally impacted by the hurtful thing that person said.
Yeah, now, while this is all going on, right, do you all know this guy right here, Harry Sisson, and he's now, like, well, he's like a paid shill. This guy is obviously paid by the DNC to push their propaganda. Now, he's complaining that Republicans are getting people fired.
Right now, Republicans are trying to expose and get people fired from their jobs if they mocked Charlie Kirk's death on social media.
Yep, keep going.
Now, let me be clear. I don't think anybody should be mocking it, but aren't the Republicans the ones who decried cancel culture for years? and now they're engaging in cancel culture.
And it's kind of funny to me because the left invented cancel culture. They weaponized it for years, getting conservatives deplatformed, censored, and fired just for speaking their minds, right? And even more recent times, they've been doxing ICE agents and all the rest of it. He didn't say a word then, did he? Now, the exact same thing is happening to their side, and suddenly it's a problem. Suddenly it's unfair. But if you think you can then mock a man's assassination and then cheer his death on in public and keep your job, no, that's not really cancel culture. That's just called consequences, yeah? Trying to gaslight as well. Trying to like blame us, saying, oh, I thought you didn't like cancel culture. So I can ask you the same question. You love cancel culture, so why the fuck are you complaining? But they're not just mocking his death, no, they're actually destroying private property now. Check this out.
What happened to Charlie was unspeakable, you know? Everyone is destroyed over this.
So Michael and his family created a memorial along their fence to honor the slain CEO of Turning Point USA. But late Saturday night, vandals lit the display on fire.
When they burnt that fence, that fire could have went into that house and it could have really harmed somebody.
It's the rhetoric. It's what people are being fed. There's so much hate in this world, and we need to stop.
The vandals also broke the back window of the family's SUV. Neighbors have rushed to provide them with support.
I saw the damage that had done to my friend, and it ruined me.
When we quit communicating with each other, when we stopped the dialogue, and we just dehumanize each other.
The family spent time repainting the memorial. Now they send this message to all in the community, regardless of anyone's political affiliation.
And now the Democrats are once again denying any responsibility, as we'd expect. Nancy Pelosi saying, we can't take responsibility for any of this.
People don't have any intention of saying something that's going to lead to something dangerous, but we cannot take responsibility for the minds that are out there and how they hear it.
Which is really funny because all they ever do is say Trump caused this and Trump caused this with his, his violent words and his dangerous rhetoric. Well, which is it? You know what I mean? Either you can blame Trump for what he says, or you can just say what you just said there, which is, oh, he can't be accountable. He can't be accountable for what other people do.
This is violence against women. He may not know that, but when he says things like, I want to protect women whether they like it or not, that is violence against women. Would you want your son to say that to anyone? Would you want your daughter to be told that? Would you want your husband to say that to you, whether you like it or not? Violence against women.
So that's violence against women, but things like this get completely overlooked, right? This is Hassan Piker, one of the biggest Twitch streamers who, for some reason, has still not been banned.
Kill them. Kill those motherfuckers and murder those motherfuckers in the street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods, dude.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what do they think is going to happen when you're constantly pushing out things like this?
Equality and democracy are under assault by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans.
This dude has to be knocked over the head, like hard.
We're in a war right now, so you have to be willing to do whatever is necessary in order to save the country.
Nothing but violence from these people. And then Jasmine Crockett has the audacity to say, you will not find a clip of a Democrat inciting violence anywhere.
But I literally have never said anything to invoke violence, and I challenge somebody to go and find a clip of a Democrat invoking violence.
Challenge accepted.
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump.
Maybe Donald Trump will go away. Maybe he'll go to jail. Maybe he will die.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country.
This year, this country could very well go the way of Germany in the 1930s.
Comparing the tactics of Donald Trump to Mussolini and Hitler is a very legitimate thing.
I don't care what Elon Musk is doing behind a presidential seal. In this country, we hate Nazis.
We have a Timmu Hitler in the White House right now that thinks that he is going to become the dictator of the United States.
Listen, Donald Trump is a piece of shit. Okay, we know that.
This is just a warning to you Trumpers. Be careful, walk lightly. And for those of you who are soldiers, make them pay.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
Make them pay.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch,
I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you will pay the price.
Donald Trump, I think you need to go back and punch him in the face.
That I thought he should have punched him in the face.
I feel like punching him.
Nothing but peace from Democrats right there. Anyway, moving on to this guy. Probably remember him. He's called Bob Villain. That's his stage name. His real name's like something Pascal Robinson. Like he's a posh boy from somewhere in England. And he went viral for chanting death, death to the IDF. And then he got banned from America, so he couldn't tour over there. And he's done it again, this time mocking Charlie's death.
I want to dedicate this next one to an absolute piece of shit of a human being. The pronouns was, were. Because if you chat shit, you will get banned. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, you piece of shit. Oh shit.
Despite the fact that he said, your pronouns are was, were, right, obviously mocking him, and then the crowd's applauding that, and then you say you chat shit, you will get banged, rest in peace, you piece of shit. Right, well, that's not mourning, is it? You're cheering his death on. So it's safe to say that is obviously a celebration. Despite all that, he denies that it was a celebration. Check this out.
Yo, real quick. At no point during yesterday's show was Charlie Kirk's death celebrated. At no point whatsoever did we celebrate Charlie Kirk's death. I did call him a piece of shit. That much is true. But at no point was his death celebrated. If it was, go find me a quote, go find me something that proves that we were celebrating his death. You're not going to find it because it didn't happen. What did happen is one reporter that bought their ticket online came with the sole purpose of finding something to report, and after I called him a piece of shit and we played a song, they have written that up as a celebration. Not a celebration, isn't a celebration, wasn't a celebration. Calm down.
No, he's obviously doing this because he wants to be controversial on purpose. He's trying to go viral. That's obvious. And despite a lot of people who are rightly going to call him out for being a scumbag, he keeps doing this because there's equally a lot of people who have been brainwashed and actually support this guy. Yeah, that's the society we live in. You know, like when people go on Reddit and they can openly mock his death and there's like a whole army of people that support them, so they feel comfortable doing it. He's no different. Anyway, I'll leave you with this last video because this kind of shows how far gone some of these people are. She walked out of church because they was mourning Charlie Kirk's death, yeah? So she's putting politics over her own faith, right? That's like backwards. It's supposed to be the other way around.
I had to walk out of church today over comments about Charlie Kirk. I'm on the verge of tears sitting in this parking lot because I'm having such a complex with my faith. Because I genuinely don't understand how Christians are pushing this man as though hate didn't come out of his mouth and heart on a consistent basis. And I'm genuinely sitting here like, if this is the God that we serve, if this is the reflection of the God we serve, do I want to be a part of it? I'm truly having a conflict with my faith because the leaders that we're supposed to be following are guiding us in this way to feel empathy and sympathy and like that this person was this great Christian and that the message that his wife gave was, it started off with like praising God. And I'm like, did we miss the chapter of hate that he endorsed, encouraged, and pushed? I don't know where to go from here. I don't. To spew hate and hide yourself behind a Bible, to me, is not something I want to be a part of, and it's not the faith I want to be a part of. So what do? I got up out of church and walked out. And I'm at a battle within myself sitting here. It's like, to what do? I don't want him to be a reflection of what I believe. And what do you do when your leaders and your pastor is saying that is the reflection? To me, I feel like I'm smart. I feel like I've worked hard to get where I get, and to push a man who thought that I didn't have the thinking capacity to get to where I am, that I stole a white person's spot. Like, to think that that's the okay thought, that me as a black person can't function in this world and be just as great as the next, that I don't deserve where I am. Is that what God thinks of me? Is that what this faith thinks of me? I don't know.
Now, obviously, she's never watched a full exchange of Charlie, because if she did, you wouldn't just be saying he preached hate. Even people in the comments are like, what hate? He said factual stats and stated his opinions. When did those become hate? We are all imperfect, and people need to know that more than 99% of the things he said were truly positive and made a positive impact on many. Things he said that you didn't like, and labeling that as hate. Well, let me tell you the truth, right? Hate was the one that pulled the trigger, right? Hate isn't preaching something that you don't fucking agree with, you know what I mean? But anyway, that's all I got for you. So I'll catch you on the next one.